Right now, I have in front of me Mr. Olopade, a lecturer in Federal Polytechnic in Laro, and also a public analyst here with me. Um, Good evening, Mr. Olopade.
Thank you very much, the presenter. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's also my pleasure too.
Thank you.
The first question we have here, because we see you are well learned and would like to ask a few questions about democracy and leadership in Nigeria. Firstly, I would like to ask you, today is June 12th and Nigerians are celebrating democracy today, which is June 12th. And what's your view about this?
Well, thank you very much, Marisa presenter. I also appreciate our viewers too. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, it's a very interesting and very captivating topic. We're looking at it together. We say democracy and leadership. For the purpose of clarifications, I'll firstly give the meaning what democracy is all about.
All right.
In a very short term, democracy simply means the government of the people.
Okay.
That is, the people institutionalize this government, and the government institutionalized by the people should be responsible to the people. That is why Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. You see, the center of democracy is the people. You understand?
All right.
Which means people will elect their leader of their choice. Democracy comes via election. That is, people will come to choose or elect the leader of their choice. That is why election is defined as a process whereby an representative of a given country confirm their mandate by casting their votes for the representative of their choice for the purpose of representing their aggregated affairs.
All right, Mr. Olopade.
Thank you.
Having said that, I would like to pose this question to you. Is it worthy to celebrate democracy in Nigeria?
Well, Mr. Abiodun, well, this is a matter that I don't like to talk about when it comes to democracy and democratic practice and principles in Nigeria.
Okay.
The Nigeria democratic practice, let me say, sorry to say, it is abysmal from serious democratic setting.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Okay, thank you very much. When you look at other developed countries that also practice democracy, and you compare Nigeria, you will see that we are far, far away from what democracy entails. You know, in a country where people don't even enjoy dividends of democracy, in a country where people don't have access to leader, which they have voted for themselves. So do we really call that one a democracy? So though we have democracy on paper, but in action, it's not democratic. You understand? So democracy should be a government where we have close relationship with the elected officer. How many of our political representatives do we have that are equal to the task and are giving back to the society? Should we call that a democracy? Anyway, as far as June 12th, as the father of pioneer democracy, late Chief M.K. Abiola, we will celebrate him for him to be an hero, for have laid down his life to allow democracy to drive. But nevertheless, we are still far, far from the principles and practice of democracy.
So, in a short sentence, you are saying Nigeria as a country does not have a democracy. Because I'm not trying to understand what you're trying to say, but I would like you to give more details.
Well, don't take me to that area. I won't say we don't have democracy, but I've given certain situations.
Okay, you know
that will tell you whether we have pure democracy or not.
All right, Mr. Olopade, you know what? Let me just move on to the second question we have right here. And the second question says, did you see us enjoying democracy in Nigeria?
Well, thank you, presenter. You know, I like the logical ways in you have been answering your questions. I've said that the other time. We have never in any way enjoyed dividends of democracy. Do we have the rule of law in place? Do we have guaranteed fundamental human rights? where people are being butchered and killed every day, extrajudicial killing. You can see in the northeast, Boko Haram here and there. You understand? You see people are suffering from abject poverty. See the case of COVID-19 that has just happened in the country. It's really exposed how people that are governing us, how care are they to the people that have elected them. Some of the representatives don't even care about people that are elected them. So you understand? Should we be celebrating such when people are not? Look at rural areas. Look at even the level of unemployment. Are we even free to say our mind by expressing our fundamentals?
All right, Mr. Olopade. Don't.
So I wouldn't say strictly that we are enjoying dividends of democracy, but by not enjoying it, it is abysmal, and it is. I will tell you, it's so disheartening. When you see that a country that have abundant natural resources that ought to have enjoyed what we have, but it's unfortunate that the bourgeois, we have the proletarians and the bourgeois. The bourgeois are those at the helms of affairs of the state. They're just taking the entire resources belong to us. We are not enjoying dividends. I will say that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olopade. Once again, it's a great pleasure to have you here. And the third question with me right here, it says, what can you say about leadership in Nigeria?
Well, I've said the other time at the inception of the program that democracy and leadership, they are inseparable, though they are different ones. When you talk about leadership is all about ability to influence others in order to achieve certain goals and objectives. Leadership is ability to use your personality, your influence, your instinct to affect the society positively. When you look at democracy and leadership, you can see when we are saying government of the people, by the people and for the people, which means the people have to choose their leader to represent their aggregated affairs. Therefore, when you now look at the level of simultations between leadership and democracy, you can see they are inseparable. The leadership in Nigeria, we are still referring to the same thing. When I say represent, the representative of the people, that is the leaders elected, fear an electoral process, which means for people to enjoy dividends of democracy, they must have what? A good leader. Okay, are you saying the top officials, the head in the government, they are not the right people? Is that what you're saying? No. I would never say that. There's a popular saying, Mr. Diodun, that condemn not the leaders, but reject their passive aberrations. We are not condemning them, but rather we will reject any passive aberration from them. We want them to give us the rightful leadership, the kind of leadership. Can you imagine? Some of them are traveling outside the country. They see how leaders in those countries are running the affairs of their country. Why can't they come home with what they have learned in those countries and to do the same?
Okay,
Well, you're so disappointed that reverse is the case in our country. I don't say they are bad leaders. Although eggs are eggs, but some are rotten.
Well, I'm not in position to answer that question, but let's not go deep into that question. And the fourth question right here with me says, did you see our youths working towards that?
Well, Mr. Abiodo, it's a very great question that I always love to answer. I'm an advocate for autocracy.
Okay.
And I will continue to share it when I see youths being pragmatic and dynamic when it comes to climb the mantle of leadership.
Okay.
See, who are youths? There's different school of thoughts that give definitions of youth from different perspectives, by age, by whatever. But the youths in Nigeria, the eminent ones, the qualified ones, those we can refer to as youth in Nigeria, are we ready to climb the mountain of leadership? Even when we are ready, the bourgeois, I say we have two types of people in society. We have the bourgeois and the proletarians.
Yes.
The bourgeois are those at the helms of affairs, while the proletarians are myself and you. Would the bourgeois allow the younger generation to excel when it comes to leadership? And leadership about youth is not about when you occupy a political post. Leadership starts from anywhere, even from your home, among your peers. So I'd rather continue to charge Nigerian youth to continue to develop their spirits. Anywhere in the world, we are known by our level of being enterprising, being innovative, being creative, being pragmatic, and being resourceful. But the Nigerian environment does not give our youth to survive. Even those that are surviving, is it not on the platter of man, no man?
Okay.
So I'll give an example to that of Oyo State.
Okay.
You know, several states now are now bringing youth into the government.
Okay.
But my question is, even the youth that are now in government, are they not following the same path of those the bourgeois? Are they bringing something new into the government? But I hope
You mean
when we are able to have more youth in governance, we should be able to get it right in this
are
country.
you saying in one word that the leadership in Nigeria are influencing the youths negatively?
Well, that's a very intelligent question. Well, I wouldn't say yes and I wouldn't say no. But what I would just say that we don't have an enabling environment for the youth to drive harder and survive in this country. Except the few ones that have the connections of the bourgeois in society. Look at the rate of unemployment. A youth that is unemployed, will you say such a youth to be productive? No, tell me. No, you know,
That's quite funny.
you know, look at the number of university graduates, polytechnic graduates, college of education graduates that are roaming about. How productive do you want them to be? So there's no enabling environment for us as a younger generation.
Thank you, Mr. Olopade. Thank you so much. And once again, I'll say to you, it's a great pleasure to have you here. Having said all those things you said, and as a man, as a public analyst, what is the way out? Do you see any way out?
Yes. See, I like that question. Very intelligent. When we identify a problem, we must provide solution.
All right.
See, where we have gotten it right is lack of human capital development. We don't invest in leadership training. That is why the management and leadership of this country is abysmal and disheartening.
Okay.
We don't invest. When you think about human development, look at China, look at Singapore. You know what Singapore did when they got their independence? The first thing they did is to develop their human capital, their human resources. They give them the training required to drive this, to drive the country into an inevitable height. Look at what China is doing. China invented they invented their human resources through technological innovation.
Oh, they are so very great in that.
Can you see now? Today, China is known all over the world. Even the US, that the giants, they are now trading war between China and the US. Now, for us to get it right in this country, we must have adequate, effective, efficient, incredible, commendable, and passionate human resource development. Once we develop human resources, then we develop our mentality, we develop our ability, we develop our vision and mission. By developing that, youth will know that this is how a truly democratic society should be governed. Then thereafter, after development of human capital resources, by having the insight, by go through the training that is required to develop a country, then institutionalize a leader. Let there be true democratic setting. Let there be free, fair, and credible election. Do you understand? So let the political party allow the younger ones, allow the people of credibility, not by the factual of man no man, not by institutionalizing people of questionable integrity and character. All these ruins our democratic and our political settings in this country. I hope if we can have pragmatic youth, visionary youth, missionary youth, energetic youth, focusful youth, and passionate youth that are very resourceful and pragmatic, will drive our nation and our economy. And apart from that, let the democratic process to bring this youth in any area to be suitable. Creating a enabling environment, reduce the rate of unemployment. By reducing the rate of unemployment, this will decrease the level of crime. By decreasing level of crime, we have a free society. By doing that, we have good people, we have good government, we have economy. Our economy will thrive. Then we should be able to enjoy our country.
Thank you, Mr. Olopade. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you, and I hope when next we call you, you'll be able to answer us.
It's my pleasure.
It's good to have you here on the interview today.
Thank you very much.
My name is Belgian.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for being you.
Thank you very much.